Coach Jack Daniels at the Boxers Trainers Channel, and back at you with another man. Look here, I am totally distraught about Jerron Boots Ennis. After the fight between Jerron Boots Ennis and Ismail Lima, right, there has been a lot of controversy. A lot of people are saying, man, Boots should be on the pound for pound list. Boots is a phenom, all kind of stuff, right? But here's the deal, and I'm gonna keep saying this until Jerron Boots Ennis proves otherwise, right? Until Jerron Boots Ennis fights somebody on the pound for pound list or a champion, because at this juncture, what champion has Jerron Boots Ennis fought? Name one champion, welterweight or super welterweight, that Jerron Boots Ennis has fought. He hasn't fought any champions, right? In 34 fights, 30 knockouts, he has not one champion on his resume. Now, for y'all who believe that Jerron Boots Ennis is this bad mamma jammy in the ring, right? For a person that practices and studies boxing like I do, right? I would say that that isn't so. Because in order to be considered as a phenom, you have to be in the position where you fighting people of that caliber to be able to say, man, he whooped so and so and so and so. He beat so and so and so and so. You cannot become a phenom merely because you go 34 and 0. I mean, who's to say that Jerron Boots Ennis has been fighting nothing but bombs? I'm not going to get off into who he fought, right? But I will say that Emmanuel Stadionis is the only name recognition boxer that Jerron Boots Ennis fought and beat. Name another one. No. Forget that. Strike that. Name a champion. We need to talk about the champions that Boots has beat. Like, we know how many champions this guy beat. Mike Tyson. We know, let me tilt that a little bit. We know how many champions this guy beat, Muhammad Ali, right? But we don't know how many champions Jerron Boots Ennis. Strike that. We do know he hasn't fought not one champion. In 34 fights, 30 knockouts, no losses. How many champions is on his resume? 0. Not one. So let's get away from the notion that Jerron Boots Ennis is this bad mamma jamma. I'm not by any means saying that Jerron Boots Ennis can't box, right? But I am saying that he's not a phenomenal. He's not the type of boxer who deserves recognition as far as what is being given to him at this juncture. Everybody is hollering about Jerron Boots Ennis, you know what I mean? And I was actually called a liar yesterday. Hey, look, and let me say this for the record, right? On this podcast, the Boxers Trainers Channel, everything that I say can be backed up by the record, right? The issue came up that Jerron Boots Ennis didn't say that he wanted to fight Torrence Bud Crawford before Torrence Bud Crawford whooped Saul Canelo Alvarez, right? But Bud said that Boots could have fought him prior to him fighting Saul Canelo Alvarez. Virgil Ortiz could have fought him before he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez. It was a litany of boxers that were mentioned in that conversation about whether they could have fought him prior to him fighting Saul Canelo Alvarez. And Jerron Boots Ennis was number one. So let's get away from the notion that Jerron Boots Ennis could have fought and should have fought Torrance Bud Crawford because he should have, but he didn't, and Bud ain't having nothing to do with him because he thinks per his words that Boots is trying to get on the bandwagon because the bag is humongous now because Torrance Bud Crawford is the man. We all know that. That is undeniable now, right? But we're talking about Jerron Boots Ennis, right? How many people really think that Bud should fight Jerron Boots Ennis? How many? Me, for one, I don't think so. I don't think that Boots deserves the opportunity to get in the ring with a Torrance Bud Crawford, right? Torrance Bud Crawford has made his bones, and this is what this podcast is about Boots, whether Boots has made his bones, and Boots, you know what I mean. Contrary to the fact that it was a heck of a knockout in the first round, I love the way that he switched from right hand to southpaw, and he did it in a smooth fashion that I hadn't seen him get out like that. But that still doesn't qualify him as being ready for the pound for pound list and fighting people like Torrance Bud Crawford, right? You can say you want to fight Virgil Ortiz, but the fact of the matter is you duck Virgil Ortiz. You can say that you want to fight Errol Spence, right? But Errol Spence was one of the other ones that you ducked at 154. Excuse me, 147, right? You ducked Errol Spence. You ducked Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the list goes on, man. I said that once before, right? But up and until Boots decides that he wants to shut the naysayers up, right? Hey, I'll be satisfied if you would fight Blair Cobbs. But I keep mentioning that because I really think that Blair Cobbs might whoop Boots, man. I really think that Blair Cobbs might whoop Jerron Boots Ennis. I just, you know what I mean? I mean, here's the deal. I got a special interest in Blair Cobbs, right? I really think that if Blair Cobbs puts in the necessary work, right, and becomes as good as I think he can be, right, he'll whoop Jerron Boots Ennis. He'll whoop most of those cats at the 147-pound division level, right? And I think that he's big enough to go up to 154 and hound Boots at 154. You know what I mean? So let's talk about why we can't get that fight between Boots and Blair Cobbs. Why can't we get that fight? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't Blair Cobbs worthy enough to get in the ring with a Boots, right? We had this conversation with Eddie Hearns before, and Eddie Hearns spin it. He said he can't get that fight, but he'll make sure he get a fight, right? That never transpired. We don't want the opposition. We want to see Boots fight Blair Cobbs. And I think there's a lot of people out there in the world that want to see that fight. What say you? The chat. Look, man, I done did my work. I continuously come on and give you guys factual data, right? And I'm going to keep doing that. But I'm saying is we want to see Boots fight somebody. Don't y'all want to see Boots fight somebody, man? You heard me? You heard me. Anyway, man, I'm going to make this one short. I'm getting up out of here tomorrow, going to New York, see what I can do, see what I can do about this boxing game to help this boxing game move forward. That is my objective, to have the boxing game move forward. So I'll probably do a show from New York. I will do a show from New York. And hope I catch you then. But until then, man, hit that subscription button. Hit it with your finger, right? The subscription button, the like button. And drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about whether Boots is worthy enough to be on the pound for pound list. That being said, I got to go.